Hey you guys, welcome back. And this is Melissa with The Creative Season, and I am going to paint some spring flowers today, just really from my imagination, with doing a little bit of play without doing a lot of drawing. You know, sometimes it can be so intimidating to try to plan out a whole painting, but sometimes I just want to come in and get some paint on some paper and have fun and play a little bit. So I invite you to come and play with me. I don't have any live flowers today. I kind of just breezed through some pictures, but I thought, you know what, I just want to play today. And so what I have is I have my paper down here, this piece of watercolor. I've got it taped down with masking tape. That way the paper won't bubble. I have my colors right over here. So right here, and I'm going to go ahead and just get them a little bit wet. And I have a new video set up, and I'm hoping I won't wiggle as much. So the last one was great, but it just kind of moved and shuffled. So I've been playing so that the video quality will be better, and I hope it will be today. So if you're going along with me, just get your watercolors nice and wet. So I'm going with a nice yellow. I have a cadmium yellow light and a yellow ochre over on the side. I don't know if you can, so if you see this, you can see with mine, a lot of times I have them just next to each other so I can blend really easily for darker colors. I'm going to be using this green right here, which is Viridian green, I believe. Yes, I believe it is a Viridian green, and this is a permanent green right here. We're just going to get that a little bit wet, so I'm going to use a few more colors than I normally would. And okay, so those are nice and wet. I'll get the blue a little bit wet, and really the only drawing that I'm going to do with this is I just want to draw where my kind of the outlines. So thinking that we never want it right in the middle. We always kind of want to think about thirds when you're creating your paintings or your drawings for more intriguing. So I'm going to think about my stems are going to come up to maybe about here. And so I'll just put a little bit of a mark, because sometimes what I will do is my stems get a little bit crazy. So if this is like a nice bouquet, my stems will stick out here, and then I'll start doing flowers, thinking it here, and maybe we'll even do a bow or something. I don't know. We'll kind of get in there. And then I'm always thinking of a nice, almost an umbrella situation with the flowers. So again, I might do just a little sketching of just some main flowers here. We always want to think in odd numbers. Are these going to be peonies or tulips? They'll probably not be tulips, maybe kind of a peony kind of flower, and then we'll do lots of little flowers surrounding. So what I'm going to do now is I just want to start laying down color. Again, this is painting flowers without having drawing, and we're going to do some splattering today too, so I think it's going to be fun. So I'm going to use my size 12 brush, which is this nice big one, and I think I'm going to go for pink because I love pink, and we have a rainy day, which love the rain. It's going to bring lots of flowers. This will just kind of brighten everything up. So I'm just going to go ahead and set just a little bit over here. I'm just really kind of just starting to put paint down. I'm not really overthinking it. It's not super neat. And number 5, maybe I can put it over here. Maybe one that's not so big. Okay, so there's my first. I'm going to get some more paint so I can go back in and just to create a little bit more depth here. That extra paint, the depth, that really kind of just will show some shadowing too, if I want to get a little water on there. And then put a lighter little bit of pink in there. Again, I'm just laying down color. Okay, what I want to do now is I do want to get my stem. So I have a filbert brush. I can't find my flat brush. Sometimes what I do is I travel a lot, and I always bring my paint with me. Not that I necessarily get to do it, but I like the idea of doing it. And sometimes the brushes, they disappear. That happens. So going back down here, just real gently, I'm going to put some lines here for my stalks. Get some more green. I'm using the permanent green. Honestly, all my colors end up mixing, and what I like to do, if I don't watch it, my stems and the flowers won't match up. And on these guys, they've got a little bit of a protective stem here. Like that. And if you get a little bit of the pink in, not a big deal. It doesn't all come through. And again, see with this one, that's okay. I'm just putting a nice line down there, trying not to mix the colors too much, but I do like a little bit of a blend of color. All right, then I come back up here and go around. We're going to put this darker green up here, and up here I want to have some of those little like maybe baby's breath, but maybe not white. I'm going to maybe put some yellow, I think. Wouldn't that be fun? Very springish. We're going to come back and thicken everything up. I'm going to get a smaller brush now, just a small round one. I'm going to come over here and I am going to start putting little buds. Isn't that fun? Just again, this is just fun, free floral art. And over here, now what we're going to do too is I'm going to go back and pick up some green, and we're going to, as if the buds are popping out. I forget the name of this flower. I've been really inspired by all the daffodils that I've seen around. I love daffodils. I love how they pop out. These almost kind of look like mini daffodils, don't they? Again, kind of making it look like they're popping out. Now these, again, we're not doing a lot of drawing. We're going to do some splattering really to create some depth and some really fun effect. First though, I do want to grab some more green, and I want to deepen up my colors in here. So you start to see as you add more color, and it really adds a depth to the painting. With this brush that has a tip like that, you can do some more detail work as well, really easily. We haven't done any drawing. We're just creating these beautiful, lovely, really lovely floral bouquet, a nice bright floral bouquet. Okay, now over here I'm gonna just do some dabbing here, really nice and light. I don't even know what kind of flower it is, but I've been taking lots of walks, and there's all these wildflowers that are just gorgeous, and they're the kinds that, you know, are on the stalk, which I love. I just love. And always thinking too about our umbrella, that we have kind of an even distribution if you think of where your eye might go. Okay, now I'm going to put a little bit of darker pink in, and actually too what I'd like to do is I'm going to add the tiniest bit of blue into my pink, because I like to start sharing the color around too. Now that's a pretty dark blue. If I put too much blue, it turns into a purple, which is gorgeous. And I might actually, why don't we do this? We'll kind of do some purple. That's pretty, isn't it? Okay. And up here too. The reason I like to use less colors and mix them is I think it really adds a more cohesive look to your whole art. And we'll put another one up here. And that is that purple that's actually being created from the blue and the pink. I did not use the purple. We'll add some more blue over here. Okay, that's looking really nice. Now, what I want to do too is to get more yellow in. I'm going to get my yellow really, really wet, and then I'm going to put a bunch of it on my brush, and I'm just going to do some splattering. And yes, it's going to, just in one corner, it is going to get perfect. So you can see it's starting to splatter over there. We got some of the pink. We're creating a very much of a wildflower spring bouquet. Very messy, very fun. We're going to go ahead and add just a little bit of the blue to the green now to go create even a deeper green. And this is what I want to do down here. I always talk about adding a bow, but then I actually forget to do it. So we'll just pretend that someone has bunched these together, right? Again, adding some more blue. We're looking to see too, where would my shadowing be? If the light's coming down, we're gonna have shadows more under here, more in the middle, right? Because all the blooms are on top of each other. Too, you might want to also think about adding a few stems, a few flowers. It's just a beautiful, free, fun piece of art. You know that when we paint, draw, knit, crochet, plant a garden, it actually has an incredible benefit to us physically. Our heart rate goes down, our blood pressure goes down, we relax, it opens up different parts of the brain. So for all of us who are working in a high stress job, you're on the go a lot, you need to come home and you want to be able to relax, starting and doing just something very simple like a little bit of painting can help you relax, especially really nice on a Friday night or a Saturday morning to put you in a just a more relaxed state of being for the rest of the weekend. Kind of let go. Our brains can only focus on one thing at a time too, so doing something like this will turn off the constant activity in our heads. I know that a lot of times we still thinking about things from work, and I need to do something that will shift my mind from work to relaxing, to family, to the weekend, to volunteering, whatever it is. We just have to give our brains a break from the job. Okay. So really fun, really free. Maybe I'll end up putting this in one of my joyful journals. Maybe I'll create this into a card and send it to a friend. Again, this is no pressure. I like things too that I'm not feeling have to be perfect. I don't feel like it has to be, it's not a performance. It doesn't need to be exact. And it's just really for me and for someone else perhaps who I think might be really enjoy this. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, I've got some yellow sprinkles and splatters. I want to now do some pink ones, and I have a little bit. I'm going to go right over here, and I'm just going to kind of let them sprinkle right maybe here on the flowers. If I can, I'm going to concentrate it on the flowers, adding just some depth. It's going to go everywhere else too. Now I will warn you, I'm doing this with watercolor, so if I get it on clothes, not a big deal. You do this with acrylic, it will stain. It's a lot of fun. You get more of a texturing with acrylic, but be careful of the staining. Now you'll notice in here, I've got some pink. That's fine, that doesn't bother me at all. I think it's kind of fun. I might even take my green now and just kind of go back, and if I don't like it, or if I wanted just to blend it in a little bit, I can always do that. Maybe I could even come back here, use a bit of green and create more of a leaf, because those were kind of pokey like they were. There we go. And I might be too where I think, you know what, I just want a little bit of green splattering down here. Not a lot, just a little bit. So this brush is it's a 4. So you can see the splattering's pretty little. The bigger the brush I use, so for example, I'm gonna wet down with some yellow on a 6. And if I do it right over here, just so you can see, we're gonna get bigger splatters. So if you wanna take your time with some little splattering, actually I find it very relaxing just to go ahead and splatter some more around. There we go. Now the one thing I will say as we finish up with this is that I don't have a lot of blue. I like that I have the blue on the outside. I don't have a lot on the inside. In my eye, I do want to add a little bit more. So I'm going to take the blue. I could either splatter, which is fun, or I could just do some highlighting too and take the blue. I haven't even mixed it with the green, and maybe a little bit in here. I had a woman who's an artist, a virtual mentor. I really enjoyed taking her classes years ago. And she said, you know, if your composition is great, but your colors are awful, it'll be a meh painting. But if your colors are good and your composition is not so great, people will just be drawn to it, because a lot of times people are drawn to color, and it's really true. Now I want my composition to be pleasing to the eye as well, but there's something about the power of color. I'm going to just put a little bit in here, again thinking to where my shadowing might be. So sometimes think about that. If it doesn't quite look how you want it to be, think about, you know how to get color. If you know how to get color, that will really be a saving grace for other things that you feel maybe are lacking, or it's just harder for you to develop that part. Okay, I really like that. I think that's coming along really nicely. When I'm going to let it dry, And then maybe I'll add a little bit more yellow, because if once it gets wet, everything does start to merge a bit and it becomes harder to get the lighter colors on. But maybe not, maybe I'll just get a little bit. Also, if you do too much splattering, the splattering will all blend together too, and we are trying to get a bit of a textured look. It can be hard sometimes to know the fine line of when I've gone overboard, and I have certainly gone overboard, so be gracious to yourself. We'll add a little flower over here. And you know what? These are fun and simple. If you realize, gosh, I totally went overboard, and I think I'm at the place of no return, use it in a journal. You know, don't waste it. Use it, cover it up. I'll do that all the time with my artwork that has kind of gone south. I'll still reuse it in collage. And then, you know, try again next time and just do another one. Have a couple of these set up. Do 1, 2, 3 watercolor pictures. We've done this in what? Let me look at the time here. Just a little more pink down there. We are now at 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, we just did this beautiful, lovely, really fun and free watercolor. It's very loose. It's very free, and gosh, and that was fun. It's just something about starting out the day with some watercolors or finishing up the day with the watercolors. I just really, really love it. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to be back here. I think I'm going to be doing some tulips and some other colors in another study of just doing some fun, free floral art without doing much drawing. Okay, guys, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.